All right, Scotty.
What is up, everybody? It has been far too long.
It's always been far too long when we hop on the old hot mics here, but this is a podcast formerly known as WESPN, nameless at the moment, but WESPN is officially retired. So there will be no intro. The intro is retired. We will come up with a new intro once we come up with a name for the podcast. And we got a couple leaders out there, but if you're watching this, hit us with the comments with anything creative that you can think of. I mean, leaders right now would probably be The Counter.
I think that's the top of the list.
Yep.
What's the reason that we don't want to necessarily go with that one?
Well, we had that name before, and we're just wondering if we should revive it again. I think The Counter has some legs to it, because we're at The Counter. We could record the podcast from our clients' listings at their counter. We could bring guests to The Counter. So, I mean, the more I talk about it, the more I absolutely love it. There's some names out there that we've been having some fun with it that just don't work. But Pounding Signs was one. Real Estate of Mind, kind of like a New York state of mind, right?
Love it.
A state of mind, getting real estate, house party in the house. So we're looking for some creativity. We might just be getting in our own way here with the name, but we want something pretty epic. So we'll continue to brainstorm it. And,
Absolutely. I like The Counter. It's the top of my list right now. I find, like, just in daily life, I'm always submitting counter offers, right?
Yep.
It could be as simple as, hey, Scott, go take out the trash, and I hit him with the counter of, okay, well, then you do the dishes, right? Or whatever the situation is.
Right.
So kind of hits a lot of different angles there. But
yeah,
we'll leave it open to the audience to throw us some suggestions. What do you think of The Counter?
Yeah.
And any other ideas we'd love to hear them.
Yeah, maybe
we're struggling.
Yeah. But let's poll The Counter. If you like the name The Counter, let us know. If you have an idea for another name, let us know. And hey, if we choose your name, a $5 Tim's card coming your way.
Love it. $5. That's it. Now, how about my shirt here? What a way to start off episode 1, season 1.
This guy pulls up to the scene, like all full of piss and vinegar.
Super excited.
Ready to rock, ready to get back on the mics, and just like goes to drink his coffee latte.
Yeah, latte.
And just pours it all over his shirt.
Just all over the place. So what a way to start. I was debating about changing shirts. We got some stuff in the back. They basically forced me to do the podcast episode with my shirt looking like this. So very embarrassed.
Nonetheless, it is a clean shirt, dirty shirt. It's nice to be back. It's nice to we love educating the market, and again, that's what we want to be. This is a real estate podcast. If you're not interested in real estate in Windsor, Ontario, sometimes Canada, then this isn't the podcast for you. That's the bottom line. So if you want to talk about some real estate, let's rock. We're going to start with, and again, there's lots to talk about. I guess we'll start with, we're recording this on January 25th, and another rate increase, Scott.
Yeah, so it's what, 10 right now.
Yeah.
We just got the announcement at 10 o'clock, 25 basis point hike. That was the consensus. That was what was expected. They did mention that they're continuing their policy of quantitative tightening, which kind of just means restricting the money supply, restricting banks and how much they can lend. A lot of factors there. So the consensus also is, right? The consensus can be wrong. Let's not get it twisted, but the consensus is that they're going to pause now. And I'm not sure. We haven't listened to the actual announcement yet, so we're not sure exactly what they said. I don't think they're going to come out and say that they're going to pause. I think they're going to keep it vague.
Right.
But I do not anticipate personally any more rate hikes in the foreseeable future. How do we think this is going to impact the market? Paul, what are your thoughts here?
Once again, it goes up another quarter point. More buying power is lost. So typically when we see every single rate hike, we see prices continue to come down. Prices in December, let's go. Prices in March, again on the high, 723. December numbers told us that the average sale price for the month was 423.
Yeah, I thought it was more like 470 something,
okay.
But it's changing every week. A lot of that also depends, like Paul, you always talk about this. That depends a lot on the mix of properties that are sold as well, right? If you get a couple $1 or $2, $3 million homes, when there's a limited number of sales, it's really going to skew those numbers. So we don't want to take too much into that. But we can hit on some anecdotal stuff. Like, we are seeing multiple offers out there when something's properly priced, when it's in a great location, when it's a unique property or a property in great shape, it is getting multiple offers. We've had 12, 10, 36 offers on properties just in this past week. It's kind of the average property or the not necessarily the unique property, the average location or the below average location, or seller expectations that are simply not in line with the new market.
Yeah.
So we are seeing a lot of canceled listings as well.
I think there's no more important time than now to really get a professional on the case, especially if you're listing right now. And when I say professional, it's somebody who's not gonna bullshit you. I mean, I go on listing appointments all the time, and I'm not there to tell you exactly what you want to hear. I can get you to the promised land, but it has to be in the current market conditions, right? Mm-hmm. So to sit there and blow smoke and say, yeah, you're still worth this, and tell you some March, April, May numbers, that's doing you a massive disservice. And that relationship, you're going to really butt heads as the listing goes on. And it's not that we're trying to go in there and underprice it, but we just want to go in there, report what the market's doing, give you solid advice, and then make some solid decisions together as we form a team bond in selling your home.
Yeah, I do find some agents are too scared to have that conversation, or they're more concerned with, getting the listing or basically telling the client what they want to hear so that they work with them. And like you said, I think that's a tremendous disservice. Now, we can be realistic with market value and also do some things to maybe exceed market value, to have the right strategy, to know, is this the type of property that we can generate multiple offers on and get those 10, 12 offers? Or is this the type of property that, hey, we have to list a little bit higher and leave some room for negotiation? Every situation is so unique and changing every week that it's very important to have the right representation.
And again, you made a great point there about multiple offers. And again, let's talk about exceeding market value first. So whether in March or today, our main goal always with a listing is to exceed market value, what that market value is at that moment in time. We were exceeding market value in January, February, March. I exceeded market value last week on a few listings. So we always want to exceed market value. Pricing right now, though, is so important for the sellers. And every appointment that I'm on, it's this exact conversation. January, February, March, the biggest thing about a listing was the staging. Because we knew every listing would sell, but the ones that got exceeded market value were the ones that presented best on market and the ones that had the best negotiator on the listing side, right? Because you have to understand what we truly get paid to do is negotiate. Right? Prepping your home, making sure it stands out, marketing, all that stuff. That is light work for us. We know how to do that, and we've got such a good team behind us to execute that on every listing. What separates the professionals from the non-professionals is the negotiating style and the know-how to negotiate. And that's what's going to always separate a great agent from an average agent. And I always say, hire the best agent in your area. They cost the same as the worst.
Absolutely.
Right?
The know-how to negotiate and the willingness. I find, just in my personal experience, I genuinely feel like a lot of agents are afraid to negotiate. They don't want to. They're uncomfortable. Calling the other agent, asking for more money or better terms or whatever the case is. Some of us love, I think you and I live for that. Personally, our team, we're built that way. But I do find that some people are just they're not doing it, because I'm on the buy side a lot of times, and I'm like, hey, this other agent's not really doing anything for their client. They're just more concerned with getting a deal done. So I'll say the same goes on the buying side, right? Like if we're looking at a property for a client, it's being able to read the situation and, hey, do we smell blood here? Are they asking for a 30-day close, which means they've already bought something and they need to get out of here, and they just went past their offer date, and now, hey, we can come in with whatever the heck we want. And they, a lot of times the agent on the other side is going to say some things that probably aren't true, right? Like, sure, we don't need to sell, or we're only selling if we get this price. And being able to read through that and say, no, you're just,
Yeah, I find on the buying side right now, it's give from the buyers and then take on the price, right?
Love it,
Cash
yeah.
offers right now, they're not as common as they were Q1 last year, right? So to come in and set yourself up to be able to rate cash is kind of a big deal now, right? Big deposits,
Big time.
cash, all that stuff. You want to give them the world, but then take on what you really want, which is a lower price. On the listing side, pricing is so important right now because if you're not in multiple offers, well, that buyer's mentality is going to get in their own way. The buyer's going to say, "Oh my God, I'm the only offer. The market's crashing. What's going on? No one sees what I see here. I'm scared. I'm going to run away, or I'm going to lowball the offer." Lowball offers sometimes get little to no reaction. Where on the other side, if you price your house properly and trust the advice, and you do get multiple offers, those buyers' mentalities start to change. They start to say,
different, yeah.
"You know what? The market's crashing." So that, I mean, it's in the news. You can't get away from it. The market's crashing. Am I making the right decision? Well, other people are seeing what I'm seeing, and other people are insulating my decision. Okay, good. Let's move forward. Let's put our best foot forward, and let's make a great offer on this property. So important to structure yourself so you get multiple offers, so the buyer's agents aren't coming in and strong arming you because you have no negotiating power anymore.
Yeah, and that's just simple human psychology. I mean, we're all guilty of it. The more somebody else wants something, the more that I want it.
Yeah.
It's very simple. And if nobody else wants it, hey, what's wrong with this property? What am I missing? Oh, like you said, is the market crashing and I'm the idiot that's catching a falling knife here? But you know, if you sneak in that other offer and that goes away. I work with buyers that are the same way, right?
Yep.
Why does nobody else want this is what they'll literally say to me.
Yep.
And sometimes, you know,
what's wrong with it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or what's wrong with the market, or am I stupid, or maybe I should wait longer, whatever. And sometimes that is the case, right? You know, this isn't a great deal, but sometimes it is a great deal.
Yeah.
And so, you know, depending on which side of the equation you're on, which client you're working with, buyer or seller, very important strategies right now. More important in a lot of ways than when the market was just hot and you're kind of just a slave to the market in a lot of ways, right? You didn't have a lot of buying, negotiating power. So, but yeah, I mean, we can describe the market as hit and miss overall.
Last week was really the first week that I felt the market picking up a little bit of steam.
Agreed.
By no means like catapulting, but it just felt a little bit different.
Give you some anecdotal evidence. Working an open house this weekend, lower priced home. So in the first time home buyer kind of segment there, 6 or 7 people through all that first time home buyer profile. What do you think they all said to me? Hey, we were waiting for the new year and the prices are down. Now we're ready to get active and start looking to buy.
Yep.
And that's just a small sample size. If you extrapolate that over the whole market, there's probably dozens and possibly hundreds of people with the same mindset thinking the exact same thing, which is new year, prices are down, let's get back into the game.
Yeah.
And one of the problems that we're seeing out there, obviously, is there's no inventory.
Yeah.
Very limited inventory. So there might only be 3 houses that fit that first-time home buyer profile in terms of price, location, et cetera, on the market at any given week.
Yeah.
So
Which
you're all going to be going to the same house.
This happens every year, by the way, where we have low supply and we have a high amount of serious buyers. If you're looking for a house today, I mean, today it's snowing, like, and you're out looking for houses, you're a serious buyer. Like,
Good point.
and those are fantastic. Our spring market is here. So if you're thinking of selling and you're thinking of waiting until spring, May is too late. It has been for the past 6 years. Trust me, May's too late. The spring market starts that first full Monday back after New Year's
Now,
Day.
why is it too late?
Because life starts to happen.
Yeah. Good point
More
as well.
listings come up. Summer is approaching. Life just gets busy. January to April, I find, is the best time to sell. Right?
You literally might be the only property. You have no competition, especially if you have a unique property or a great location that's hard to replicate. You're going to be the only game in town, and every serious buyer is going to be coming to look at you, and then maybe you can generate those multiple offers, et cetera, et cetera. So,
and it's not that May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December are terrible times to sell.
Yeah, just different.
It's just if you can control it. And I'm sitting with you and saying, Paul, when's the best time to list? Well, we're gonna be doing it probably February, March for sure. Avoiding March break though. Don't list during March break. Just don't list. Just don't do it. Like, and like these little tips that I give sellers, like, don't list during March break. Don't list after December 15th. Like, these little things that when your buyer pool shrinks, and we can control it to not shrink, why wouldn't we do that? Right?
It may be in an emergency situation or something, but
Yeah,
very
of course.
rare that you'd have to do that. And yeah, you might be 25% of your buyer pool might be on vacation. And maybe that perfect buyer is in Florida that month or whatever
Yeah.
the case is, right, with their family. So
Control what you can control, and if you can control when you list, again, these are every tip I ever give a seller or a buyer is always for their best interest. And if you can control a certain list date, then trust the advice.
yeah, so in sum, I think the quarter point interest rate hike here, it's going to bring buying power down a little bit. I keep saying to my clients and anybody that wants to listen, demand for real estate has not gone away. It has not gone down. It's like saying the demand for food has decreased or the demand for water or air has decreased. It's a need. It's not a want. What has changed is the affordability. So people just can't afford as much, and prices have to come down to match affordability. But we are still in a undersupplied market that's getting worse. Why is that? Because how many builders are on pause right now? Because they can't make a profit. Right? You can't build to lose money. And when borrowing costs go up 400% in a short period of time, it's just undigestible. So you're going to see all these projects delayed. You're going to see the housing crisis exacerbated, and you're going to, it's going to push this housing crisis out possibly another decade here. So my point is that the market fundamentals are very, very, very strong. But as long as rates are rising, prices are going to come down. They have to.
Yep.
If we see a pause here, we're going to see a normalized market where supply and demand they're still going to be out of whack, but affordability is lined up with seller expectations. And I think you're going to see the market tick up consistently for a long period of time. Problem is we don't know when that is going to happen because, it's a moving target. But we could be at peak rates right now. This could be peak rates today.
I think so.
That quarter point increase.
I think so.
Yeah, so we will continue to educate as we go forward. And let's move on to the next topic. What do we got here?
What do we want to hit here? I mean, we got a nice little list here that we can talk about. We're going to keep this to, 40 minutes, give or take 5. What do you want to hit here, Scotty? What do we got here? We got a nice little list.
Yeah, I mean, the Bill 23 is a big deal. I think it's.
That's a good one.
I think a lot of people are kind of just not really understanding what it is. I think especially on the investment side, there's something that is really valuable here as an investor, in my opinion, which is the fact that you can take any single family lot in any zoning and build up to 3 units on it with no pushback from anybody. That's like no pushback from the city, no pushback from neighbors. They can't argue it.
Well,
it's a situation where as an investor, you can go buy any lot and build 3 units on it. Now
I'm not going to lie. I didn't even know about this. Is it an Ontario bill or Canada?
It's Ontario.
Okay.
Specifically, yeah. So it's meant to fight the housing crisis and build more units faster. That's literally the name of the bill. So you might be valuing these lots a little bit differently, right? Yep. If you can only build a single family lot, a lot of these lots aren't making any sense. It's just you can't make a profit if you're to resell it, or the rents won't be high enough to cover your costs because building costs are still high. But if you get 3 units on there, we know the rents are very high. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, you're generating $5,500 of income on this new build with 3 units. Well, now all of a sudden you're cash flow positive, right? So
yeah, and it's going to introduce a whole different buyer who the ones that understand house hacking and stuff like that. Like that's a great
point.
That's a great
point. Multi-generational families,
Yep.
house hackers, investors that just want to buy, hold, and rent for cash flow positive. So again, my broader term view of this bill is it's not going to fix the housing crisis. You're going to see a bunch more rental units. So the problem is it's not creating affordable housing for the average first-time buyer to go buy. It's going to be the investor buying that lot and building 3 units on it. So it's kind of a bit of a smokescreen, but I always try to say, I'm going to try to take advantage of these rules. You can spend all your life arguing about them, but if you're in a position to take advantage of it, hey, start looking at some lots where you can build 3 units. Rental market is very strong and getting stronger.
Yep,
so that's the importance. There's some other stuff in there as well. Development fees being waived. A lot of cities and townships are upset about it because a lot of the revenue is coming from these fees, and now they got to make up the revenue elsewhere. So very important bill. I suggest anybody out there do some due diligence on it and try to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and our good friend Justin Trudeau, $7,500 tax to throw. whip mom and dad down in the basement and 7,500 bones in your pocket, a little tax credit there. So that's not going to fix the housing problem either.
A lot of people were actually offended by this when they read it. Right? It's like, like you said, oh great, now I can live in my parents' basement for longer.
Yeah, we'll throw a link to Bill 23. We'll throw a link to that $7,500 tax rebate as well, just so if you want to educate yourself on that. And again, this is a supply and demand issue. It always has been, always will be. We got immigration rising, so we need more supply, and that's what needs to happen.
Now, I also heard some rumblings around the office that you were out dominating at soccer.
I was, yeah. 2 goals.
A week or two ago.
2 goals, yeah.
Now, I didn't even know you played soccer, but...
Not many do.
Yeah, so you come into the office raving about how you just go out there and start dominating like Pele or something.
Yep.
Then I come out to, I have a little talk with Trish, your wife, and I find out that it was against your daughter's soccer team, and she's how old?
She's 10. Double digits. So we went out there before Christmas and just absolutely dominated out there. I mean, the competition was little to none for me, at least. I mean, I saw some other dads out there struggling, and moms for that matter. But for me, it was just new. It's like what Wayne Gretzky said. I didn't go to where the puck is. I went to where the puck was going to be, and popped a couple goals. And I'm just out there making my daughter proud, and someone to really look up to in the soccer field. And if I can fill that for her and be her idol on the pitch, then so be it.
The pitch, he says. So yeah, and now this is because you've had some knee surgery too. This is you've come back, you've persevered. You come back on the pitch. You've been dominating since then. So it's really an inspirational story.
And Scott, my knee story. They don't call me German knees for nothing. So to come back from that, not everybody's built to dig deep. Mm-hmm. But like my good mentor Cam Neely said, just gotta get out there and perform, and that's what we do.
Now you're not German.
But my knees are.
But your knees are.
Yeah,
German knees.
German knees. Yeah, that's right. So actually, funny story in grade school and all that. Be like, German knees, are you German? Are you German? Nope, just my knees are. And that joke just absolutely crushes every time. It's actually pronounced Germanese, but Germanese has kind of been what's stuck out there throughout the years.
Yeah. And if the joke's working, just stick with it, right?
I do. Trust me. I do. If I get new audiences, if I'm somewhere with Trish and I've got a new audience, they're all dying laughing as expected. But Trish is just shaking her head. My ego's pretty high with my jokes because I've got Andrew in the office that laughs at everything I say. So, you can probably hear in the background right now because I'm hilarious. Absolute domination on the soccer field.
You mean the pitch?
The pitch, yeah. Inspired by my good friend Messi and his run with Argentina. Shout out. I'm sure he's watching. Shout out. So that was.
And that's some great advice. You could actually take some of that advice and apply it to the market, which is you don't skate to where the market is. You skate to where it's going.
And that's how we wrap it all up.
Boom. Wow.
Right. That's how we wrap it all up. That's a fantastic point there. How you brought that all together. So that's Anthony. Get out of the way. All right. So
you almost.
Where are you going?
No, you go.
No, you.
I was going to do the concierge service, but
I was going to go YouTube Premium real quick. I got YouTube Premium last week, and when I bought it, I was like, "Do people actually buy this?" I was like, "Why am I? I don't even know why I bought it. To be honest,
I'll tell you why you bought it.
I was on somebody's page that I subscribe to in real estate, and I just was watching all his videos and was sick of the commercials, so I bought it. Scotty, but then I talked to you. You've been a YouTube Premium member for how long?
Just about a month and a half.
Oh,
but I'll tell you, I'm loving it.
Okay,
to be honest, we're not being paid by YouTube. To say this, but it's a game changer because I found myself, cycling through videos. Right now, I'm in the process of buying a new TV, so I was doing TV reviews, video after video after video. Huge decision.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's commercial free.
It is, and you can play it in the background now if you want. I like that.
Game changer. You're listening to something, you can lock your phone, and it'll continue to play the audio. Absolute game changer. You got your AirPods in.
All these subscriptions, they seem pretty cheap. But when you got 20 of them, she adds up a little bit. I'm still rocking Kojiko cable. Never mind.
Okay. Now that
I can't get off.
We need to have a whole episode about that.
I can't get off.
That's inexcusable.
Slice is my vice, and CTV News. I miss Jim Crichton, but that's a whole nother story. Is just that's kind of where we're at.
Just dialed in. Okay, yeah. I mean, my parents still have Kojiko too, so.
Well, that makes me feel that makes me feel pretty good.
Do you have a landline?
I don't have a landline.
Okay, because I would have.
No landline.
Co-host.
It's been a good decade without it, and no landline.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So, I mean, we still have a ton of topics that we want to hit on, but I don't know if we're going to save them for next episode. But it is good to officially be back, and we got to get this name locked in. We don't want to rush it. It's we could be overthinking it, but we also got to get it right.
Some feedback would be
very much appreciated.
The counter feels like the leader,
it's at the top of the list,
but at the same time, we're open. I mean, we're open. We got to be real estate related though, because that's what we are.
Yes, yeah, that's what it's about, and yeah. So we're looking forward to some comments there and getting this name locked down, but we're not going to rush it. And are we wrapping up here or what?
Wrapping up. You can catch us on YouTube. If you are watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button.
Yes.
And podcasts can be found on Spotify as well.
And you don't need premium to watch.
And you don't, although
it helps.
No commercials. All right, take care.